Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you to StudyIQ in this daily PIB analysis video. For the last 2 days guys, I'm extremely sorry because things are totally out of our hands because some technical issues there. Internet connectivity is a big problem, and you see it is India, so nobody is on time, so that is the issue. And anyhow, I got my connection back right now, and I was late in the Hindu lesson uploading today, and now I'm uploading this PIB video. From tomorrow there will not be any issue and things will be on time from tomorrow, and my flat shifting and some health regions, all things are combinedly coming at the same time, so that's why it was the issue. Now the pen drive courses, you can call on these numbers and you can ask for these courses. Time is very less, exam is approaching, so things are going to be very hectic. So these courses are going to help you a lot in this time, and all are covering important static syllabus of these examinations. Now the data from the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, too much of information from the Commerce Industry Ministry today. India US cases at WTO. You see, we are inclining towards USA a lot these days, and for the last 1 decade you see it's a totally inclination towards USA more than Russia, and this thing is totally evident in the 2+2 dialogue that happened, and Comcasa and all these agreements that we have signed, and we have got the this technological access to these weaponry and all. So these things are going on, but you see always the same thing, that USA is not a reliable country. Always it looks for its own issues, its own interests. It will take care of total protectionism these days that is going on, and after the upcoming of Trump's administration, things are totally self-centered for USA, and that's why in the same line they are only protecting their own interest. In WTO, you see this body is going through immense pressure because the World Trade Order, this is World Trade Organization, and I'm talking about the World Trade Order, that is totally misplaced these days. And when the anti-globalization wave is going on, and the country like USA, who was dominating all these multilateral institutions, it is withdrawing from many of these initiatives, these institutions, these particular programs, and it is only talking about the protectionism of its own interest. And that's why in the same line it has put 25% duty, custom duty, on steel products which are exported from India to USA. So when it is putting a duty on India's steel, then India's steel would become more expensive in USA. So these people in USA, they will buy their own home produced steel. So that's how our exporters, they are going to be affected a lot, and they will be under immense stress because they won't be able to earn from USA. The people of America, they are going to buy their own steel which is produced in their home country. In the same line, 10% duty on the aluminium products. We have also imposed a counter duty on America's products, so we are also retaliating. But the issue of this retaliation and this trade war that is going on, that's really dangerous for the World Trade Order. Okay, things are already going on with China a lot for the USA, and Russia is always at the loggerheads. So this issue of protectionism is really getting larger and larger, and dispute settlement body which is there, it is trying its best to bring these measures consistent with the WTO provisions. But you see some issues like on the appellate board, the issue of appointing these people, that was controversial. So India raised this concern, and India was involved in some kind of lobbying with the countries of EU and Canada and some other countries, and they raised this issue of transparency in the WTO working, and the protectionism which is going on, that is actually harming the developing nations like India, because India like country, they are only at advantage when globalization is robust. Globalization is not affected negatively and it is growing. But when this anti-globalization wave is going on and protectionism is rising, the country like India is totally under stress, and that just because of that, on the World Economic Forum's platform, we raised this issue. Mr. Modi raised this issue heavily, that this protectionism wave is going to destroy total world order, and it is nowhere beneficial for countries like us, which are aspiring to become big. But this is going on, and with the USA, we had already lost a case regarding the solar panels and their manufacturing, regarding some raw material issue, and there we lost this battle, although our claims were genuine. But USA dominates these institutions, so that's why the talks of scrapping this WTO or raising a particular different institution in parallel with WTO, that is on rise. And the countries like India, China, Brazil and all, they want a particular different institution, okay, in parallel with the WTO, so that this issue of West domination does not affect us. Next, export of mangoes. As I told you, mangoes, it's agricultural product, and we are the biggest producer of mangoes. Maximum number of varieties are found in India, and during the last 3 years, the data is given here. The export that we have done, maximum export is done in the European Union and USA, and you see the issue of Alfonso mango was very notable issue for the last 3-4 years, when they raised some quality check issues, that the mangoes which are coming from India, they are not according to our standard. So that was the same mango only, that was Alfonso mango. Alfonso mango is a very important product from Maharashtra. So this APEDA body, that is Agricultural Products Export Development Authority, this body is an autonomous organization under the Department of Commerce, means Ministry of Commerce. So it is regarding the export of agricultural products, okay, but it is coming under the Ministry of Commerce because it is regarding the export. Export is the main focus here, so that's why you don't confuse it with the Agricultural Ministry. This is talking about the export of agricultural items, but coming under the Ministry of Commerce. That's important. It provides financial assistance for purchase of insulated these cooling units and all. It actually incentivizes these promoters or investors, so that the export of agriculture is boosted, it is supported. And one different scheme, that is centrally sponsored scheme of Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. Horticulture is actually a non-farm income booster for farmers who are having very less amount of land. So mainly the small and marginal farmers are having this advantage if they are involved with horticulture. It is greatly appreciated in the markets, mainly in the urban markets. The perishable items like vegetables, fruits, flowers, these are coming under the horticulture, and these products are expensive and they earn more income to these small farmers, okay. So that's why it is appreciated a lot, and for the last 2-3 decades it is seen that the horticulture gives immense income to farmers if we are comparing it with the normal farming of these crops and all. So that's why it's very, very important. And MIDH, as I told you, it is providing this credit to these exporters or these people who are investing in the cold storage and these transport vehicles and all, because ultimately it is boosting agricultural items export. So that's why this scheme is very important. MIDH, remember this question may be there this year regarding this MIDH. This is Mission of Integrated Development of Horticulture specially, and 2-3 times I have discussed this issue in the PIB videos, okay. It's a centrally sponsored scheme. Remember this, in the sponsored schemes always share is there, center and states share, and in the central sector schemes there is no share, 100% funding by center in the sector schemes, okay. So it is a sponsored scheme, not sector scheme. That's why share is there. Next, Ministry of Commerce's data again, to facilitate import of capital goods for producing quality goods and service and enhance India's manufacturing competitiveness. You see, the main goal is export again. That export should rise so that we earn more. That is the favorable thing. Any country whose export is more than the import, that country is gonna be a developed country after some time. That's a simple rule, that we earn more and we spend less. So if we are going to boost the export, then we need to raise our manufacturing and our production. But how do we do that? We need machines, we need capital goods for this production and this manufacturing. So if for these capital items we need to import, then that should also be boosted. If we want to boost our export, then we need to boost the import of capital goods. That's the important thing. And you see, this export promotion capital goods scheme is especially for that purpose. Okay, and some important schemes like MEIS and SEIS, they were launched in 2015 under India's foreign trade policy that was announced in 2015. That was one of the most important scheme in the recent times. So merchandise export and service export from India scheme. Next, trade between India and China. You see, they are showing some data regarding the last 3 years, and the trade deficit is certainly there, because from China we import more and export less. So this trade deficit is rising. But you see, what do we need now? We need more exports. So for this raising export, some items are identified like tobacco, fish oil, fish meal, and rapeseed meal and rice. These are main exporting items from India towards China. So that's how, if this export is rising, then certainly the trade deficit would come down between India and China. So very important session, 11th session of this joint economic group relation that held in New Delhi in March 18. So that was the most important one, where it was decided that exports from India would be boosted. Okay, so that was the important goal, and this protocol has been signed to raise export from India to China. Next, textile exports, the same ministry's data. You see, least developed countries, they are supported by WTO because these are the least developed countries. So they come under this generalized system of preference, where they impose some duties on the exporting nations' items. So maybe India, if India is exporting some items to the least developed countries, then they may impose some duties to save their own market. Okay, so as we imposed anti-dumping duty on China, but that was a different thing. But you see, these least developed countries, they are given some relaxation by WTO, but that relaxation is actually devastating for a country like India, which is trying to raise its export, and it is trying to earn more. But here these trade norms for trade relaxations for these least developed countries, they are actually harming India's export. So that's the trouble. So already the textile industry is under immense pressure, because the demand in the international sector is declined significantly between 14 to 17 year, and now some steps are taken to increase the exports. You see, rebate of state levies, labor reforms, and incentive under the ATUFs. This ATUFs scheme was in news 2 years back. It is regarding amended technology upgradation fund scheme, ATUFs. So it is regarding the technological upgradation, which is actually boosting the export, it is actually supportive of India's production. It raises the production because it is technology based. Okay, so this ATUFs scheme is very important. Now the SITP, this is a different scheme for integrated textile parks. Okay, so through all these, the main aim is export should rise in the textile sector. India has been a world leader in the textile production for ages. Now, for thousands of years, we have been exporting textiles, cotton and all. Okay, so now it is under immense pressure because of the low global demand, and these issues are going on. So our export should rise. For that, these steps are taken, and one important is market access initiative, and other is merchandise export from India scheme. That is also very, very important. Next data is regarding agricultural export policy. As I told you, our main aim is that agricultural products, they should be exported more, so that the farmers' income is raised anyhow. And you see, under the chairmanship of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they actually organized a national level meeting, okay, on 8 January 2019, and there it was decided that at the state level and cluster level, the agriculture should be boosted, because this policy of agricultural export policy is not much discussed on the state level and the cluster level. Only on the national level it is discussed. So that's why it is very, very important to bring it to the state level and the cluster level, so that exports are rising on this level. And as I told you, APDA is working for that. Other one is MPEDA, where Marine Products Export Development Agency is working for that. Authority is working for marine products actually, and this AP is for agriculture products. Apart from that, Tobacco Board, Tea Board, Coffee Board, Rubber Board and Spices Board, these all are working for that. And some schemes like TIAS, Trade Infrastructure for Export Scheme, Market Access Initiative Scheme, and MEIS, these all are working to boost the agricultural exports. Okay, so these are very important points for the prelims and mains both. Okay, agricultural export policy, remember this. Our target is by 2022 we take these agricultural exports till $60 billion. So that is our aim here. Next data is regarding the WTO issues and challenges that I discussed in the issue of India and USA at WTO, the first article today. Next, the FDI policy on e-commerce, that is also discussed already, because the B2B model where Flipkart and Amazon like websites, okay, these are providing a market platform. They are actually connecting buyers with sellers, so they are only allowed to sell some other company's product on their website, and they are inviting or they are attracting these buyers here. So they are 100% FDI is allowed in this market based model. Okay, the FDI is not allowed in the inventory model. What is inventory model? If suppose Flipkart wants to sell its own manufactured product, then it is not allowed. Flipkart cannot sell Flipkart company's product. It can sell Sony, HMV, any other company's product, but it cannot sell Flipkart's own product, or if any company's product where Flipkart has its shares. Okay, so that is not allowed. So FDI is not allowed here. That is inventory based model. Okay, that is not allowed here. So regarding this issue is going on, it is election year, and the conventional sellers who are running shops and all, they are totally devastated after these e-commerce giants came on the scene. All people are now interested to buy things online, and it is actually a mutual benefit for e-commerce giants and for buyers both, because things are cheaper, and now the rules, they remain unchanged. Okay, so they are not changing the these particular regulations put on the e-commerce giants, and this press note is effective from February 1, 2019. They wanted a relaxation and extension of it, but that was not possible. Next, Ministry of Culture's data regarding the National Virtual Library of India. What is this? This is under the National Mission on Libraries. Some particular features which are going on, that virtual learning platform, totally digitization based platform, multilingual user, because India is having many languages, so these are supported here, and big data analytics, that is also supported here, and some thesaurus based learning, that is supportive in the encyclopedic searches. So it is all regarding the mission on libraries. Okay, and it is by the Ministry of Culture. That is important to remember here. And you see core software application that is being developed for this, and cloud infrastructure that is also developed, because this is the age of artificial intelligence, machine learning, and big data analytics, and libraries can be a great source of big data analysis. Okay, so that is going on, and IIT Bombay is given the responsibility here, and CDEC Pune is also supporting this initiative with IGNU, that is Indira Gandhi Open University, Delhi. So these are the stakeholders under this national mission on libraries. Thanks a lot, keep watching, and this is all for today, and from tomorrow full-fledged lessons are coming. Thanks a lot, keep watching.